Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my lecturer and all my classmates. My name is Muhammad Afishan Rajawari, and today I will be presenting about the introduction. First of all, our group has been assigned to do a valuation practice to determine the market value of a resort by using a cost approach and profit method on the subject property. The subject property is a resort and the address of the property is Lot 30, 3200 and 300 Pasir Bogak, Pangkor, Perak. The subject property is located with western frontage on the popular Pasir Bogak Beach and the return southern frontage on the Jalan Pasir Bogak and the western section of Pasir Bogak Town Centre, Pangkor Island, Perak. In the title, the land has been registered as a freehold and there's a registered proprietor which is registered by Alam Puri Student Berhad. On the land there are 4 buildings. First of all, 2-story main hotel. Secondly, 1-story function building, which is a conference hall. Thirdly, 1-story cafe or restaurant building. And fourthly, this 2-story holiday hut. Then in the question, room tariff, occupancy status, income and expenses has been given details for us to make the valuation. In this valuation practice, our group used 3 valuation methods. First of all, comparison method, which is used to find the value of the property by comparing it to the other similar properties. Secondly, we use cost approach, which is to find the value of the property based on the cost of the construction of the building on the land. Thirdly, we use profit method, which is based on the profit of the property to know the value of the property. The subject property was inspected on June 1st, 2020. Then for the purpose of this valuation exercise, the subject property was valued on the date of inspection, which is June 1st of 2020. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum dan hi. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Aulidadirah binti Abdul Rashid. So my part is I will talk about comparison method. Okay, as we know, comparison method is most commonly used one. So this method which is used comparables or we compare with other assets to determine the value property. For the comparables, we need to look at the similar properties within the area, and then using the sales price that the property achieved to easy or make a guide to a value decisions. Okay, so for the comparables, each comparable, the information that required at least the lot numbers, the date of transactions, a brief about the property and the land area. So this thing that we will compare with the other properties, use these informations. So this method is used for determination of value. So a property is being measured is contrasted to previously sold assets with identical styles. So this is done in order to derive a value indication. Okay, lastly, this comparison method is generally used for the valuation of vacant property, developed asset, or property deemed vacant. Okay, so that's only for comparison methods. Next, I will pass it to next presenter to explain the working comparison methods. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Siti Noha binti Zamzuri. Thank you, Arnie, for the explanation for comparison method. So, I will continue to explain the working in comparison method for this assignment. As you can see, we compare three lot of the sale evidence that had been given to us. The first one is lot 30, the second one is lot 10,423, and the third one is lot 856. When we do the comparison method, we will do the adjustment for the three lot that we choose. Example for the adjustment we will do is time, location, size, the topography, and a lot more. For this assignment, we just do the adjustment for time, size, and location, which is the time we will add 5% for lot 30 and lot 856 because the year is different only 1 year. So that is a very minimal adjustment that we can add. The second one, for size, we will minus 10% for lot 30 and lot 10,423, and we will less 5% for lot 856. This is because the subject property have a great land area, great size actually. And the last one, the adjustment for location is 0 for lot 30 and lot 10,423. And we will add 5% for lot 856. It is because the subject property is better than the comparable lot. So, as you can see, we choose lot 856 because it is the least adjustment we have, which is only not only because we do not need to do any adjustment because the total adjustment is 0. So after we choose the lot that we want to compare with our subject property, we will times the price with the land area of subject property. So the land area of subject property is 4,729 meter square times with 595 ringgit per meter square. So we got 2,814,204 ringgit. That is the value of the land. So it is say as 3 million. And 3 million is the market value of the property or the value of the land for the subject property. And the assumption, we choose lot 856 because it has the least adjustment, and the subject property located at Lumut is better than comparable property in Pasir Bogak. So we will move to the next presenter, who is Rahiza Mahfuz.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rahiza Mahfuz bin Tarmizi, and in this video I'm going to talk a little bit more about cost method. Okay, the cost approach is a method of valuing real estate that assumes that the price a buyer should pay for a piece of property should be equal to the cost of building an equivalent building. The market price for the property in cost approach assessment is equal to the cost of land plus construction costs and less depreciation. When the property is fresh, it yields the most reliable market value. So this approach measure real estate by measuring how much the house would cost today if it were demolished and needed to be replaced, instead of concentrating on the cost of other comparable homes in the city selling for, or the potential of a property to produce revenue. It also influences how much the land is worth and makes deductions for any value loss, otherwise known as depreciation. So the logic behind this approach is basically that buyers have little point in paying more for a property than it would cost to build from scratch. There are two main types of cost approach appraisals, which are reproduction method and replacement method. So reproduction method is basically consider that a replica of the property is built and gives attention to the duplication of original materials. Okay, for replacement method, in this case it is assumed that the new structure has the same function with a newer material, utilizing the current construction methods and an update design. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages of cost method. Okay, so the cost approach is generally considered to be less reliable than the income and comparable methodologies. It requires certain assumptions, including taking for granted that there is enough available land for the buyer to build an identical property. Moreover, if comparable vacant land is not available, the value must be estimated, which will make the appraisal less accurate. And the lack of the similar building materials also reduces the accuracy of the appraisal and increases room for subjectivity. Also, calculating the depreciation on older property is not straightforward and easily measurable either. But despite all of these limitations, there are a few cases where the cost approach can be useful and even necessary. Valuing the various components of real estate separately is especially helpful when dealing with property that is new or differs from others. So those are basically the basic elements that we all need to know about cost method. And now I'm going to pass to Hawa to continue with the working of cost method.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So it's me again, Zikino Hafiz Zamzuri. Thank you, Rahizan, for explaining the cost method. So I will continue to explain the working for cost method. For cost method, we base on JUBM to find the cost construction new. As you know, this assignment is in Perak. So in JUBM, there's no cost construction new for Perak. So we use average of Penang less 20% to get the cost construction new for Perak. It is because we assume that it will be the same rate as Penang and Perak. So after we got the amount, that is the amount for main floor area or MFA. We divided it for each floor and divided into MFA, main floor area, and AFA, ancillary floor area. So for MFA, we use the full amount of the answer after we calculate the average of Penang and less 20%. But for AFA, we assume that it is half of MFA. It is because AFA is not have wall and it is just corridor or passageway. So as you can see, the working here, we times to the 3,524 to the each floor area, main floor area. And for ancillary floor area, we times it to 1,762. There are 4 buildings actually, but for 2-story main hotel, 1-story function or hall, and 1-story cafe, it is fully concrete. But the 4th one is 2-story holiday hut. We assume that the value of cost construction new is half of the main floor area cost construction new for the 3 other building. It is because the construction that is already explained, in the question, which is it is half concrete and half plywood. So after we calculate it, we do the next step, which is depreciation. So after we finish times the floor area with the price, we continue do the depreciation. We calculate the depreciation to get the building value. For this depreciation, we use economic age for this assignment. The formula is cost of construction new less depreciation, and we will get the building value. So here is the formula is the current physical year divided into 60 and times 100% if it is for permanent building, which is for the 2-story main hotel, 1-story function, and 1-story cafe. For the 2-story holiday hut, the formula is the current physical age, which is 10 years, divided it into 30 and times 100%, which is the formula is for the semi-permanent building. But here we use 10% for both because it is a new building and the construction is very new for the building, so we don't want to less many depreciation, so that is why we only less it to 10%. So we get the total building value. And the last step in cost method is when we want to do the valuation, we will add the land value with the building value, and we get 6,823,000. So that's all from me. Thank you. So we will move to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to the lecturers and my classmates. My name is Muhammad Azab bin Hussein and I will explain about how to use the profit method. Alright, first we find the estimated gross income and minus with the purchasing cost to get the gross profit per annum. The estimated gross income is a total income from a business, and the purchasing cost is a cost of acquiring the trading item for business. For example, we take a restaurant. The income is from the sale of food and the beverages, and the purchasing cost is the ingredient to make the food and the beverages. Next, the net profit per annum will be minus with the interest in capital and the entrepreneur's share. The interest in capital is the interest payable by the entrepreneur on money borrowed for the capital to carry out the business, and the entrepreneur's share is the remuneration for business operator to his willingness when facing the risk in operating the business. We will get the gross rent per annum. Then we minus with the outgoing. The outgoing is property maintenance, insurance, quit rent, assessment, and the management. And the last we times with the year's purchase in perpetuity according to the bank rate. So that is how we get the capital value of this property using the profit method.
Assalamualaikum, and my name is Muhammad Nabi Muhammad Salim. I will talk to you the use of the profit method. Profit method is used to value properties that have a monopoly element, such as a hotel, restaurant, petrol station, and others. As Hazrat said, this method uses a basic equation.
This is the basic equation.
So let's go through the working to determine capital value of subject property. Based on tasks we given, we need to determine the capital value of subject property with the details and information that given. First, we need to determine the sale of room. Due to the different price and occupancy rates for weekdays and weekend, we need to determine the profit per year. We use this formula to determine the profit per year. So this is the working. Then we need to total them in order to get the profit per 1 year for each type of room. So this is the example. And after we total up that, we total up again the average price of each type of room in order to get the sale of room. Example, the working is like this. So we will go to the basic equation. In order to get the capital value of subject property, we need to use the basic equation in profit method. Okay, first we will total up the gross income and earnings per annum from the information that are given. And second, we need to less the gross income with the purchasing cost per annum, and then we will get the gross profit per annum of the subject property. Third, the gross profit per annum will be less with operational cost or working expenses per annum that will derive from the information and details that are given. And then we will get divisible balance or profit per annum. Divisible balance or net profit per annum will be less with interest on capital and entrepreneur or operator share. For this task, entrepreneur share are not given. So we, based on notes and module, we assume that entrepreneur share is 50% of divisible balance. So we less, we will get the gross rent per annum. Fifth, the gross rent per annum will be less with the all outgoings that from the details and information that are given. Last, net rent per annum will be times with year purchase to perpetuity. Year purchase to perpetuity are also not given in this task. So to determine the year purchase to perpetuity, we use this formula in order to get the year purchase to perpetuity. After we get the year purchase to perpetuity, the net rent per annum will be times with the year purchase to perpetuity to get the capital value of the subject property. So this is the example working that we use. Guess that's all from me. So we will move to the next presenter that will be present the opinion of value. So we will move to the next presenter.
I will continue the presentation with the opinion of value. We all agree to give the value of property lot 30 32300 Pasir Bogak, Pangkor, Perak with two value using two different methods. The first method is the cost approach. In cost approach, we get the land value RM 3 million and the building value RM 3,823,000. So the capital value here is RM 6,823,000. The second method is profit method. Using the data given, we give the value RM 6,951,380. So that's all from us. Thank you so much for hearing our presentation.